What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. It is the 17th day of November, and here we are sitting at about $2.23. We've got 8 hours and 25 minutes left in the day, and I'd like to do some TA with you guys here. So if that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. We are in this channel downwards, right? Lower lows, lower highs. I'm not drawing it the best, but you can see what I'm going for. This channel here, and within this channel, we have a little range here as well that we're inside of. We're at the base of this range. We're at the base of this channel. I would assume that we move up to some degree, and really the next target area that we've been considering for quite some time now is about, I would even say a little bit higher than this, but technically 275 I guess is acceptable to something that's around $3, maybe even just above $3, $3.10, something in this range here. That's our next target area. The only thing is I highly doubt that we're just going to get up here and stop right here, because that's a slightly higher high. I think if we were to back test this range for resistance, that's exactly what we did. We've already done that. I think that we would probably push higher, and in which case maybe this level here, where there is some support, some resistance, some support right here, some support right there, maybe right there like 286, that might be a more appropriate line. But at any rate, I definitely expect that we're going to see a pump here with XRP pretty soon. If XRP is pumping, the thought here in my head is that if XRP moves up 30% or 40%, what's the average altcoin going to do, right? If XRP is moving up, what's Ethereum doing? What's Solana doing? What are all the little ducks underneath them doing, right? We're probably going to see the markets come to life here over the coming days and weeks, make this October 10th seem like a bad fever dream. But let's look at the short-term stuff. We'll zoom back out here. We'll talk about the longer-term stuff in a second. 1 hour time frame here. A lot of volume in this last hour. A lot of volume right there. That was actually right at the open of the stock market right there. 1430. That's the open of the stock market in the United States. So a lot of volume right there on the open, on the market open. 1 hour time frame. I don't know what that means. That might mean that there's a lot of buying, a lot of selling. I don't know. But there's just something. A lot of commotion at that time. Anyways, the RSI is neutral. I suppose you're more bullishly inclined than bearishly inclined, but you are pretty neutral at the moment. I don't really have an opinion. The RSI is not really telling me much. Yeah, nothing to go off of there. Stochastic suggests that we have lower to go. And the MACD suggests that we have higher to go. We might, take a pause here, but if we do go lower, I'm pretty convinced that we don't go below this low, or if we do, it would be barely below it at all. We don't have that much lower to go, right? How much of a drop is that? Like 3%. We could drop 5%. I don't know. We could go below these lows. I'm not saying that that is the low in itself, but I wouldn't be surprised if instead of going below this low, what we saw was, something that found support around like 218, 217. We're at 222 now. I mean, hell, that could have been it. Maybe we're finding support now. We're moving up higher. We don't have to move lower. I could just see it happening. But again, slightly lower, nothing crazy. Not getting a whole lot off the 1 hour time frame there. The 4 hour time frame, you are rejecting the 50. That's not good. Stochastics are rejecting the overbought zone. That's not good. And you have flipped green, which is nice. You do have bullish divergence to play off of with your 4 hour time frame, but I think that move has already come to pass. Let's look at this. Let's just see. What are you doing in the respect of this overall? Low to high. 786 to the 0.5 back down. I don't know, man. I'm kind of under the impression at this point in time that we do hold support here, that we don't go below this low. But even if we do, what, $2.12 at the lowest? That'd be what we do. If we go lower, if I'm wrong and we don't bounce here, and you see the price is lower, oh no, C-Zar's wrong, $2.12. That's where we're going to find support, and then we'll move up from there. Higher, lower lows, right, in this trajectory. It makes sense to me. I kind of think we find support here, guys. I think we do. Time will tell. We'll see how it goes. But I'm not getting too much off of these indicators, right? Other than rejecting the overbought zone, but you're at the 50. This is an area to find support. You did reject the 50 here, which isn't good, but you're basically at the 40. That's an area to find support as well. You did just cross green, but could this be the beginning of more to come? Could you drop lower? Right? Sometimes you get a false cross. Here you had a false cross red. Here you might be getting a false cross green just like you did here. I don't know. I think that we do move higher, personally. That's my thoughts. I'm going to call for it. I think that we have a low here. I don't think that we go below this low. I don't think we go below $2.19. But if we do, $2.12 is the lowest that we'd go to. I'm very much under the impression that we don't go below this low, but time will tell. And we should be moving up higher here any minute now, any day now. Maybe not today, maybe not Monday. We do have bullish divergence to play off of. I mean, maybe we've already played off of that, to be fair. Stochastics are weird. The stochastics are really weird. but maybe we find support here. And the RSI is shaping up, right? You can see that the momentum is shifting a little bit with this. We've got lower highs drawn out through here. We do have higher lows coming in here. There is some tension building, and I'm curious to see which side it breaks out toward. To be fair, the RSI overall is bearish, but I can't help but be bullish here, bouncing off the 40. Right? I think that we will bounce off the 40. I think we close today green, and I think the coming days will be green as well. By the end of this week, we could be looking at targets that are as high as, anything from 257 to $3.06, something in this area here. We're at 222 now, but I do think we'll get at least a 257, if not higher, by the end of this week. That'd be my thoughts. And once we finally start closing days above 270, that's how we know that the low is in. That's how we know that we're ready to rally. And when we do rally, whenever we are ready to rally, the target area that we're considering is, well, ultimately is about 16. That's not right. I'm sorry. It's about high to low here. It's about 1386 to 1642. That's the ultimate target area that we're considering. But maybe more immediately, we find resistance at 540, find resistance at 877, stuff like that. 877 will be, or that 850 to $9 area will probably provide some resistance, and then we'll continue to climb. I very much do believe that by the end of, if not by the end of this year, then most likely by the end of January, we'll be somewhere around 1386 to 1642, 2.5 months from now, which is crazy to think about. But man, we've been consolidating for a very long time. Think about it like this. We've been consolidating now really since December of last year. It's been about a year. What kind of breakout do you think is going to accompany that, right? Here we consolidated. You're moving up. You really started to consolidate July 2023, and then December 2024, whenever that broke out, like a year and a half later, you rallied. We don't have a year and a half of consolidation like we did back here. We only have a year, but still, the rally that took place, just by comparison, from the current price, that would take us up to 1557. I think a lot of people are assuming that this was just a one-off move from XRP, and I think they'll be thoroughly disappointed, just like they always are, right? XRP does this thing where it's just boring. It's boring. Whenever I got into crypto back in 2015, I learned that XRP was a coin that's boring most of the time, but whenever it's exciting, it makes up for all the boring times, right? You think that this is just a one-off, but the thing is, we've done bigger before. Right? We've done more than this before. Yes, we're at a higher market cap now, but guess what? We're also part of the United States Crypto Reserve. Guess what? We also don't have the SEC suing Ripple anymore, right? And Ripple just became a publicly traded company on NASDAQ. Like there's all these, you're in a different position fundamentally, and that's just like superficial stuff, right? Let alone the actual fundamentals of XRP itself and Ripple, what they're doing as far as like a global financial ledger and infrastructure goes for institutional adoption. I'm just saying, man, this thing's got legs. If you think that this is a one-off and that the next pump is coming, but you're crazy, C-Zar, it's not going to be 13 to 16 bucks. I think you're crazy to think that it's anything less, because that's all that we've seen throughout XRP's life. Anyways, I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.